Welcome to Learning with Story and Conversation.
Valentina Tereshkova was born in a village in central Russia on March 6, 1937. Her father was a tractor driver and her mother worked in a textile plant. At the age of 8, she began her schooling but did not enjoy it much. She left the school within a few years. Afterwards, she completed her education through distance learning. She became interested in parachuting from a young age and trained in skydiving at the local aero club, making her first jump at age 22 on May 21, 1959. It was her expertise in skydiving that led to her selection as a cosmonaut. After the flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human being to travel to outer space in April 1961, the Soviet Union decided to send a woman in space. On February 16, 1962, proletaria Valentina Tereshkova was selected for this project from among more than 400 applicants. Tereshkova had to undergo a series of training that included weightless flights, isolation tests, centrifuge tests, rocket theory, spacecraft engineering, 120 parachute jumps, and pilot training in MiG-15 UTI jet fighters. Since the successful launch of the spacecraft Vostok 5 on June 14, 1963, Tereshkova began preparing for her own flight. On the morning of June 16, 1963, Tereshkova and her backup cosmonaut Solovyova were dressed in spacesuits and taken to the Space Shuttle launch pad by a bus. After completing her communication and life support checks, she was sealed inside Vostok 6. Finishing a 2-hour countdown, Vostok 6 launched faultlessly. Although Tereshkova experienced nausea and physical discomfort for much of the flight, she orbited the Earth 48 times and spent almost 3 days in space. With a single flight, she logged more flight time than the combined times of all American astronauts who had flown before that date. Tereshkova also maintained a flight log and took photographs of the horizon, which were later used to identify aerosol layers within the atmosphere. Vostok 6 was the final Vostok flight and was launched 2 days after Vostok 5, which carried Valery Bykovsky into a similar orbit for 5 days, landing 3 hours after Tereshkova. The two vessels approached each other within 5 kilometers at one point, and from space Tereshkova communicated with Bykovsky and the Soviet leader Khrushchev by radio. Much later, in 1977, Tereshkova earned a doctorate in engineering from Zhukovsky Air Force Academy. Afterwards, she turned to politics. During the Soviet regime, she became one of the Presidium members of the Supreme Soviet. Now this living legend is a member in the lower house of the Russian legislature. On her 70th birthday, when she was invited by the Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, she expressed her desire to fly to Mars, even if for a one-way trip.
Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon.